let's get started. Right, so you all can give it a read if you all wish. Right. The story is about a samurai who has been stripped of his title, and of course, he gets banished, right? Because he refused to lose a competition against the emperor's son or something like that. All right, so let's get to our first question. All right, so the first question that we're going to be revising, and you're going to give it a shot, is a simultaneous equation, right? Now, obviously, in the multiple choice, you can get a simultaneous equation. Now, I know just so everyone has the same working in class, we're going to be using the substitution method. So when I'm working it, you have something to follow along with. Also, when it comes to a simultaneous equation, remember you can either choose equation 1 first or equation 2. I want you all to try to follow my instructions. So when I am working it out, your working matches up. Good luck, and you shouldn't take more than 5 minutes to produce the answers for X and Y, right? I just want to make sure there are no mistakes here. No mistakes in the question, so correct. Right, so the instructions say, well, this here is equation 1, and of course, the second one is equation 2. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose equation 1 and try to make Y the subject. Now, in the exam, it doesn't matter if you make X the subject or Y the subject, and you're going to get the same answer at the end of the day. So, but I'm choosing to make Y the subject. So to make Y the subject, if I'm choosing equation 1, the first person I'm going to have to throw across is the positive 5x. So if I do that, if I throw across the positive 5x, you're going to get what? Minus 5x. But we haven't made Y the subject as yet. You have to throw across the minus 2, which is a multiply. When you throw across a multiply, everyone here gets divided by what? Minus 2. Now, when you throw across a multiply, you do get a divide, but the sign does not change. Let's change some colors here. So let's simplify this. Y is alone on this side. You can put decimals, not a problem. Minus 9 divided by minus 2 is positive 4.5. You can put the positive sign if you want to be real accurate. And minus 5 divided by minus 2 is positive 2.5. And I hope you all didn't forget to put back the x. So this is equation 3. Equation 3 is y is equal to positive 4.5 plus 2.5x. Right. And what do you all have to do now in case you can't remember? You're supposed to take equation 3 and run to the equation we did not use as yet. The equation we did not use as yet is equation 2. So when you go to equation 2, wherever you see the letter y, throw it away and replace it with this expression. And of course, replace it in brackets and solve for x. Right? So far, everyone who has submitted answers has gotten different answers. So I'm going to substitute it inside here, right? So I have 4, and look at it, this y, right? I'm going to throw away this y and replace it with this expression, but I'm going to put it in brackets, right? I'm going to do it neatly. So we have 4.5 here plus 2.5 x plus 3x is equal to 5. Now you gotta take your time and multiply everyone in the pink brackets by 4. Why? I forgot to press the recording button there, but they're just for recording purposes, right? I took my time, I expanded the brackets, I kept all the x's on one side, I threw across the positive 18, 5 minus 18 is minus 13, and I solved for x, and I got x as minus 1. Now, we're supposed to get two answers, one for x and one for y. So, but I have my first answer already. X is minus 1. We just have to solve for who? Y. To solve for y, you can run back to any equation. You can run back to 1, 2, or 3. But I taught you all that the most convenient equation to run back to is equation 3. Because in equation 3, y is already the subject. So you just have to replace x with what we just got. So, and we have what here? Minus 1. Let's work this out quickly. You're going to get 4.5. 2.5 by minus 1 is minus 2.5. And if you work this out, I wrote another space here. So we're going to write it here. You're going to get 2. So y is how much? 2. So the answer is x is minus 1 and y is positive 2. For those who were getting 7, please let me know if you saw your mistake, right? Let's move on to the next question. All right, let's continue the story here. So our hero washes up on the shores of an isolated island, an abandoned island, whatever you want to call it. Right, and apparently he got robbed by a crab and stole his wallet. Coconut falls on his head. So I guess Saito isn't having a good day today. All right. So Saito has to get this magic orb, right? So once he gets the magic orb, he can rescue everyone, right? Well, change back everyone to how they were, right? And the orb is guarded by a Japanese superstitious creature called a kappa is guarding the orb. I don't know if you all know what a kappa is, right? Also, there's a condition, right? He cannot eat or drink anything from the island. So if he drinks or eats anything that belongs to the island, he will end up turning into a tree, just like all of these guys here. So let's see how he bypasses all of this. Right. So sometimes in the exam, they will bring a simultaneous equation, but it doesn't have to be x and y. You'll realize you could use any two letters in the world, right? So I used A and C for this example. So I want you all to pay attention to the rules. Now this time, just to make it a little bit harder, I want you all to choose equation 2. That's the yellow one. And make C the subject. Make C the subject. Once again, even if you don't follow my instructions, you can still get it correct. However, you might want to follow my instructions. So when I'm working it out using this particular method, you'll be able to spot your mistake. Once again, 5 minutes. Good luck. Subject. The easiest way to make C the subject here, right? This is, sorry, we're going to write equation 1 and equation 2. When you choose an equation 2, because that was my instructions, The easiest thing to do would be to draw across minus C to get positive C. Because you're already trying to make what? Positive C the subject. And then you can just take positive 7 and throw it across on the other side to get minus 7. So it's a kind of switch, right? So you end up with 2A, the positive 7 goes on this side, and the C goes on the other side. Now, it doesn't matter if you write it the other way, like how you have 2A minus 7 is equal to C. If some of you all have it like this, like you just switch it around, it's still 100% correct. Okay? Right? So this is what we have for equation 3. Equation 3 is 2A minus 7 is equal to C. We're supposed to take equation 3. And which equation do we put it in? Equation 1 or equation 2? See if you can remember the rules. The equation 3, which we just created from equation 2, are we going to put it into equation 1 now or equation 2? Where are we going? Right, you always put it back into the one we didn't use as yet. We didn't do anything with equation 1. So when we go to equation 1, wherever we see the letter C, we can throw it away and replace it with 2A minus 7. Right, so let's get started on that. Give that a little jump start. You'll get 3A, that's this 3A, plus, look, the C here. Now it's just C to replace, right? So we don't have to put any brackets or anything here. I mean, if I want to put it in brackets, fine, but it's not going to make a big difference, right? Right? So you get 3A here, every one inside. There's nothing to multiply with, by on the outside. Let's solve for A. 3A plus 2A is 5A. Throw across minus 7, you'll get positive 7. So you'll get 15. So that means A is 3. How did we get 3? Remember, the 5 is a multiply. You throw it across, you get a divide. 15 divided by 5 is 3. Now, we're not finished, right? We just solved for A. Now, I have X and Y here, but they're already supposed to be what? A and C, right? Doesn't matter which position I put it in this case, but A is definitely 3. You all need to run back to equation 3, which is this guy here, and replace A with the answer we just got. Remember, we just figured out A was how much? 3. So you notice I replaced the A with 3 there. So 2 3s are what? I don't think I need to go through these baby steps here, right? 2 by 3 is 6. 6 minus 7 is minus 1. So C is minus 1. Now we are finished. Let's go. Oh, you all remember, right? Saito cannot eat or drink anything that belongs to the island, or take anything that belongs to the island, right? Or he'll turn into a tree. Obviously, he's going to become thirsty and whatnot as he's on the island. Right? So the fish here is trying to chain him up to drink some water, but Saito is smarter than that. He knows if he drinks the water that belongs to the island, bad things are going to happen. He even has a cup of water to give him. But Saito is smart. Look at what he does, right? He waits for rain to fall instead. Right? So technically, if the rain, before the rain hits the island, it doesn't belong to the island as yet. So he can drink the water in safety, right? Right? And this is where he gets, but Saito isn't having a good day. So cloud of lightning. That's supposed to be him getting shocked by lightning. All right. So Saito is safe for the time being. All right. So here we have a sectors question. I think yesterday we did a sectors question on the week before, right? Um, I'm not going to remind you all of the formula as yet for sectors, but see if you can remember it on your own and give it a try. Good luck. Right. Now, I think some people are mixing up the formulas for area. Now, I just want to make sure we have the formulas correct. Remember, a sector basically has two major parts, right? When it comes to formulas, it have the length of the arc, right? Now, to find the length of the arc, now usually the symbol for the length of the arc is the letter S. Don't ask me who come up with that, right? It was me. I put, I don't know, ARC or I don't know. They just put S. To find the length of the arc, right, is two. Oops, that's the end. That's not one. Second. Right. It's 2 pi r multiplied by the angle in the sector divided by 360. That's how you find the length of the arc. Now, obviously, that's different from the area. To find the area, it's pi r squared. Obviously, pi r squared is different from 2 pi r, right? It looks similar, but I guarantee you it's different. So for those who are mixing it up, right? It's the green formula you need to use because they gave you the area of the sector. So what you do, you replace the area with whatever they give you and replace the radius with whatever they give you. And you're trying to find the angle. So you can cross multiply or whatever. The point is you have to solve for theta. Right? So for those who were lost, I've given you a couple of minutes to, retry. Now remember, you're trying to find an angle. Now, I think some people are still mixing it up. You're not trying to find the area. They gave you the area. You're backtracking to get the angle that caused that area. All right, I'm going to draw a little squiggly line here and we'll try to work it. Right, so they gave us the area. How much is the area? The area is to the 8.4. And this is equal to pi multiplied by radius squared. Now they gave us the radius as 9.2. Don't forget to square it. You have the angle here, which is what we want to find, and 360. Now you don't have to cross multiply. What you could do is, since we're using the calculator today, right? You can work out this part straight on your calculator. Right? Usually in the exam, they will tell you use pi as 22/7, and they will give you much easier values to deal with, right? Anybody wants to work out this yellow part for me, right? Work out pi multiplied by 9.2 squared. Please don't forget to press the squared button and divide it by 360. And you can round off your answer to 2 decimal places, right? Right. Right, I get any same, Kemi, I get any same thing as you. I am getting 0.74 here. When I work out this yellow portion straight on my calculator, make sure you see it, right? This makes it real easy to solve for theta. Now we don't have to resort to cross multiplication. This here is a multiply. When you throw across a multiply, you're going to get a divide. So that means theta is how much? To the 8.4 divided by 0.74. I'm getting roughly 52. Well, if you're, 51.89 degrees. I know some people just going to put 52, right? But that is what I am getting, sorry. Mistake. They did say to go to two significant figures, so I didn't read the instructions. First, second, but the third significant figure is 5 and more, so the answer is 52 degrees. Correct. Right? So for the exam, don't mix up the two formulas. One is for area and one is for the length of the arc. Okay? I believe yesterday we did a length of the arc question in class. Right. Oh, we have a second question here. Basically, the first thing you need to do in this question, well, the aim of the question is to solve for x, right? Good luck. So how the question goes is like this, right? Now, if you add up all three sides, the expression for all three sides, then it's obviously going to be equal to the perimeter because you're adding up all three sides. So it's 3x minus 3 plus 2x plus 5 plus 4x minus 1, and that will be equal to your perimeter. That's the expression they wanted in part A. So now you just have to expand the brackets, right? Because we're doing part B now. You're getting 3x minus 9 plus 2x plus 5 plus 4x minus 1. And they told you the perimeter is how much? 49. All we have to do now is add up all the x's and get the x's on one side and, well, everyone else on the other side. I think some people forgot to multiply this 3 by the 3. Remember, everyone in this brackets gets multiplied by Mr. 3 on the outside. So if you have 3 over here, that is what threw off your entire working. So let's add up all the x's here. 3x plus 2x is 5x plus 4x is 9x. And then you throw across the minus. Well, we could probably add up all the, well, here, before we throw it across, we could probably add it up first before we throw it across. Minus 9 plus 5 minus 1. You're going to get minus 5 there. And this is going to be equal to 49. Throw across minus 5, you're going to get positive 5. 9x is going to be 54, right? Throw across the multiply, you'll get divide 54 divided by 9 is 6. So x is 6. Right? Look for your mistakes. Let me know what your mistakes. All right. All right. So on the third day on the island, there was I guess a monster lurking where Saito was. Right, a huge serpent, well, a snake, right? Right, so Saito is having some problems relaxing on this island here. But I'm sure he will take care of this. So you can hear the rock music in the back there. All right, next question here, right? This question is also going to boil down to basically a solve for x question. You have to keep in mind that all the angles in any triangle, even from yesterday's class, always add up to how much? All the angles in any triangle. But it's 180, all right? Equation, it's going to add up all three, right? 1, 2, 3. So it's x plus, oh, give some more space here, sorry. X plus 18 plus 2x plus 7 plus 2x. And of course, this will be equal to 180. So let's add up all the x's. 1x plus 2x is 3x plus 2x is 5x. And then we can add up all the regular boring values. 18 plus 7 is 25. So this here is the expression they're asking for. But I know we're more just concentrating on trying to solve for x. So it's just a matter of trying to get x on one side and, everyone else on the other side. Throw across positive 25, you get minus 25. So you get 5x is equal to, I need my calculator, 180 minus 25 is 155. Yeah, divide here. I'm getting to T1. Right? Now, a lot of people did get T1. Okay? Look for your mistakes for the people who got 29. Let's look for. All right. So this is where the orb is. Remember, the orb is being guarded by the kappa. That's the kappa over there. Right? So let's see if anybody here can guess the riddle, right? So the kappa is going to ask him the riddle. Anybody wants to solve the riddle? I hold something most precious. Once open, the precious vanishes in the blink of an eye. I cannot be trusted in the hands of a stranger. What am I? It's a riddle. Kristen, you come the closest. But the answer, my people, is a box of KFC. That's the correct answer. Right, so the kappa has been defeated. So he's going to give him the orb. I didn't get to do the voices for this as yet, so you'll have to read in the meantime. Right? If you all didn't see the box of KFC, it's right here. Uh, let's move on. Clearly, I was very bored when I did this. All right. Calculate the value of x, right? Now, first things first, right? For the exam, you need to know all your trigonometry formulas by heart, right? I know they just write it on the formula sheet, right? But when I write it on the formula sheet, it doesn't look like this. The sine, tan, and cosine, it does look real different. But when you have it like this, right? It does make it easier to use, right? So I write it down the formulas here for you guys, right? and tan. Good luck. Sorry. So we just decided that to find the length of the green line, we would use tan. So we want to find O, the opposite. How you find the opposite? It's adjacent multiplied by tan theta. Right? So I'll just do the work for this side here. Put the work in here. To find the length of that side, which is the opposite, it's adjacent multiplied by tan theta. The adjacent side is 5, and the angle is how much? 50. So how much we're going to get here? 5 multiplied by tan 50, I'm getting 5.96 centimeters, right? So over here is, oops, tied there. 5.96. But the aim of the question asks us to find x. So if we look at the underneath triangle now, if here is 38, the x is opposite, but this side becomes the adjacent now. From the perspective of the underneath triangle, by standing in the 38, x is the opposite, and over here is the adjacent. So it seems that we're going to use the same formula, but this, and we finding the opposite again. So it kind of like we use the same formula twice. So to find the opposite is adjacent multiplied by tan theta. In the underneath triangle, the adjacent side is 5.96, and the angle is 38 degrees. And we get in, well, a lot of people send this answer 4.67 centimeters. It's 6, 6. All right, so it seems that Saito has the power now to free these guys here, right? Because he got the orb. So he breaks the orb, breaks the spell. And of course, Saito wants revenge, so he wants to take all the soldiers and, of course, sail back to Japan and get his revenge on the shogun. All right. Right, but he would need a plan, right? He would need a plan to get the shogun to open the gates, right? So right, and somebody just wants me to go back to the last slide, just a screenshot, right? A quickly screenshot so we can move. Let's go. All right, so here we have another one here. Just give it a try, see if you can get it out without my help, right? It won't always be tan, right? Sometimes it could be sine, sometimes it could be cosine, right? Jumpstart. You might want to find the green part first. That's why I highlight it, right? So you want to like concentrate on finding that. Now, if you're standing by the 65, the green line is opposite and the tree is adjacent. So we see that we're using tan. So we know from the last question, opposite is equal to what? Adjacent multiplied by tan theta. So the adjacent is 3 centimeters and the angle is 65 degrees. Then we're trying to find the length of the green line first, and that will assist us in finding angle x. So 3 multiplied by tan 65. I am getting 6.43. Anybody saw that in their calculations? That the length of the green line was right. So take it from there, right? I'm not going to give away the answers here. Take it from there. Pay attention to the triangle on top and figure out whether you have to use sine, tan, or cosine to find f. I think it's cosine. No, it can't be sine. Now, let me see. Because if you're standing up over here by x, for sure the hypotenuse is the 10, right? Because it's opposite the right angle. And this 6.43 has to be the adjacent. It has to be cosine, right? So where can I write down, right? So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. It seems to me, well, we're finding the angle, right? So if we're trying to find the angle x, cosine x is adjacent divided by hypotenuse. So cosine x is equal to the adjacent divided by the hypotenuse. For those who didn't get a chance to finish it up, right? The adjacent side is 6.43. The hypotenuse is 10. Divide it and cosine inverse it because you're finding for the angle. So draw across cosine to get cosine inverse. A lot of people are saying the answer is close to 50. Let's see what crazy plan he has to trick. All right. It's getting music.
It took Saito 10 years to build an army and set sail to take his revenge on the shogun. Saito registered the world's first KFC and added delivery to the list and sent a message to the shogun that he would be making a huge delivery, with extra zingers, payback and a side of cocktail, wink wink. Oh yeah.
Right, so this is his army here disguised. You'll see the ships have the little KFC logo on it. Trick the shogun, and that's his KFC delivery. And of course, I don't know if you're all interested in seeing Saito dance. This is Saito victory dance here. This little victory dance. All right, that's enough of that. Let's move on to the last question. Clearly, I was having too much fun. All right. All right. Your job is to find the value of A and B. First things first, right? Everyone inside this brackets gets multiplied by 3. So let's at least do that, right? So 3 multiplied by A is 3A. And everyone here gets multiplied by 3 as well. So 3 by 4 is 12. And 3 by 2A is 6A. And what they're telling you is that this is equal to 15 on B. So you could formulate two or create two equations. The top is going to be equal to the top, and the underneath is going to be equal to the underneath. Because essentially you have 2 items on this side and 2 items on the other side. So everything on the same position on either side of the equal sign are equal to each other. So you're going to make two equations, right? The first equation is 3A is equal to 15. And the second equation is 12 minus 6A is equal to B. I am really, really sure you all can more than solve for A here. And then substitute the value you got for A inside this and get what? B. So see if you could complete it from there. I don't understand. All right. So we're solving for A here. So we throw across the 3, which is our multiplier, you're going to get a divide. So 15 divided by 3 is 5. All right, so A is 5. We have to go and replace A with 5 here. 6 by 5 is 30. 12 minus 30 is minus 18, not 2, right? So the two answers are 5 and minus 18. Look how easy that was. Well,